All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our fix and flip track. I'm excited to share with you our scalable, low-risk formula that we have for fix and flips. So let's go ahead and dive in. We've got a lot of really good content for you. This is going to be a little bit longer of a course because, man, there's just so much of this system that I want to share with you guys. So let's dive in. Now, before we get too far in, as usual, on every module, we got to share with you our disclosure here. I am not a licensed attorney, accountant, financial advisor, real estate broker, real estate agent, or any other type of licensed individual. I'm just a student, just like you guys, and I'm just sharing information and systems that I have built up over the last 7 years of being a real estate investor. They've worked very well for me. I've been able to build quite a bit of wealth by doing this, and I just want to share it with you. So hopefully that's okay for everybody. Now let's dive in and let's talk about what we're going to talk about in this course. So we're going to start out by talking about important definitions. There's certain terms that you're going to hear thrown around as you're working on purchasing a property or during this education module, the entire course that we're going to be talking about that I want to just get out of the way so that we have an understanding and we're using the same vernacular. Then we're going to be going into red flags. We're going to be talking about the things to watch out for, the things that can potentially hurt you as you're going into fixing and flipping. Then we're going to talk about the low stress formula, how to do it specifically using very little of your own time. But there are things that you do have to manage on your end. So that's going to be important to understand those things. We're going to go into that in that module. And then we're going to talk about due diligence and quick analysis. So this is where we're going to be diving into the numbers, where we're going to be diving into the inspection and making sure that everything is squared away before we actually purchase the property. We're going to do a review on funding. A lot of the important funding information is found in the using other people's money class. But we're going to talk a little bit about the way that I like to structure fix and flips and go into detail on that. Then we're going to talk about picking contractors. That's very important. And if you're going to lose money on a fix and flip, that's probably the most likely place you're going to lose that money. That or a change in the economy. We're going to talk about both of those things in both the funding module and the picking contractors module. Then we're going to go into forced appreciation and talk about the way that we make money in fix and flips, and we're going to get scientific about that in the forced appreciation module. So I'm looking forward to discussing those things with you. And then we're going to talk about the 5 things. So with forced appreciation, that's the way we make money in real estate. There are 5 areas of focus when we're remodeling a property that we spend our money on. Everything else we try to avoid spending money. So we're going to talk about those things in that module. Then we're going to talk about the remodeling system and how to make sure that that's scalable as well as efficient and manageable on a day-to-day basis. And then we're going to talk about the sale of the property once the remodel's done and how to go about that, some of the things to watch out for. So I'm looking forward to diving into that. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to analyzing a market and looking at fix and flips, with fix and flips, it's a very simple idea. You have to buy the property lower than what you're going to sell it for. Obviously, sometimes that doesn't always work out. The bump that we had in 2008, 2009 that caused the economy to decline also caused home prices to decline. And we need to be prepared for eventualities like that. But, as we're going through and looking at the market, we can see that in 2004 to 2008, the place to buy properties were pre-foreclosures and subject tos. In 2008 and 2009, we had a lot of foreclosures going on, a lot of short sales, and a lot of auctions. At the bottom of the market, in this last recession that we experienced, auctions and REOs. Now, I'm going to talk about REOs a lot, and we're going to define that term in the next section. But when we use the term REO, that's an acronym that stands for real estate owned, and it's a banking term. That means it's a bank-owned property. So an REO is a bank-owned property. 2013 to 2014, short sales, REOs, wholesales, and then 2015 to present, MLS listings, wholesales. We're going to talk about all of these strategies, so you have all of these tools in your belt. But just understanding that as we go through, this timeline kind of represents an entire spectrum of a good economy through a bad economy back to a good economy. So, this is going to kind of give you an idea of as the market goes up and down, like it does, you're going to have different areas that you look for fix and flips and real estate investment properties. So just keep that in mind. I would use this slide in conjunction with the Finding Off-Market Properties class or the Off-Market Deals on Tap class, as it's titled. So keep this in mind. These are the areas that perform the best during these times in the economy, both the up and the downs of the roller coaster. So we'll use that as we move forward. Now, another important part to getting ready to go out and do a fix and flip is building your team and understanding what team members you're going to need, because doing it all yourself is the wrong way to do a fix and flip. It takes way too much time to do everything yourself, which limits the scale that you can operate at, which limits the amount of money that you can make, which all of us are doing fix and flips because we want to make more money, right? So doing it right, doing it efficiently, and doing it in a way that we can scale is going to provide you with more in your bottom line with your real estate business if you execute it correctly. And an important key part of that is having the right team members. You're going to need an attorney. You're going to need an accountant. I would even add to that, as you start to scale and do maybe over 3 properties at a time, you're also going to probably need a bookkeeper. That might be the same person as your accountant. It might be someone different. I have a bookkeeper and I have an accountant, 2 separate individuals. And I'm doing 5 to 7 fix and flips at a time, plus all the other things I'm doing. So, as you scale, you may not need both right away, but as you scale, keep that in mind. You're going to need a real estate agent. You're going to need bird dogs, people that can go out and find properties for you using roadside signs or Craigslist, etc. You're going to need a title agent. You're going to need a title agency. So having a relationship with a title agency has actually made my job so much easier, because a lot of times I'm getting, the lists that we talk about from the Finding Off Market Deals on Tap class is a lot of those lists come from my title agent. So having a relationship with a title agent that I can just go to on a regular basis to close my deals also helps me find those deals, because they have resources that I don't necessarily have access to as a private individual. So very, very important there. Also, it makes things easy if you're closing with the same person on every property. It makes things easy if you have to go back for accounting reasons, or if you get audited, or whatever the case might be. You've got one point of contact for all those documents, so you can go back and refer to that person, rather than trying to figure out where you closed and why you closed there and when you closed, etc. Having a good home inspector is important. An appraiser we've got it on the list. You're not going to need it very much on the front end, but an appraiser is a good thing to have in your pocket on the back end, as you're going to sell the property and figure out where you're at as far as your projections go. You're going to need debt lenders. You're going to need equity partners. We talk about that in great detail in the Using Other People's Money class. So go back and review that. We're also going to talk a little bit about that in this class. We're going to need contractors and subcontractors. And we're going to talk about why that's important, why the DIY movement is going to limit your ability to perform at scale as a real estate investor. So, as we talk about these things, keep in mind the way that I'm presenting this information, the systems that I'm presenting are designed to allow you to scale to the maximum of your desire with your real estate business and with your fix and flipping business. So we're going to focus on scalability and minimizing risk as we go through this class. So I look forward to jumping into the other modules. That's all I've got for you for the introduction module. I'm excited to jump into some of the content. In the next module, we're going to be going into the definitions that we're going to be using throughout the rest of the class. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you on the other side.